I'm Julie Coy. I am the author of Grant the Jigsaw Giraffe and Friends, and Grant the Jigsaw Giraffe, Different is More. The book is about, I wrote this book a couple years ago. It is about my son, Grant. If you heard about Grant, or if you know about Grant, you also know that Grant lives with autism. But the book is not about autism. The book is about Grant and his journey. Now you see this giraffe here. Grant decided to add puzzles on his giraffe. This is the original piece right here. Decided to add puzzles on his giraffe, not spots, because puzzles is what Grant uses in the majority of his artwork.
That's right.
So it doesn't necessarily represent the autism symbol, because the book is not about autism, it's about being different. It's just ironically, they go hand in hand. It's about just being born different, but finding your special talent.
And Grant, what is your favorite art piece? I mean, you've created many pieces of beautiful art that you sell within our community. What's your favorite piece?
That's a toughie because, see, whenever I'm making an art piece, every time I learn something new from making one art piece, and I can use that into my next one. So, choose between which one is my favorite art piece. I honestly, it's really hard to choose just one. But I'll tell you this much: if there was a fire, I grab whatever is closest to the door.
And Julie, you know, one of the common themes in the book is you're different, but not less. You're more. Can you touch on that and why that is so important?
Well, I heard that phrase from Dr. Temple Grandin, who's a good friend of ours, mentors us through what we live with, mentors us through our business. But I had reached out to Dr. Temple Grandin and asked her if I could use that phrase, because my impression, it came from her. And of course she said yes. Different, yes, but not less. And never has Grant been less, because I've always seen talent in Grant. I always said, you're more. Different, not less. You're more.
I love that. And Grant, for everyone that is joining us today and throughout the month of April and who happens to maybe meet you 6 months from now at the grocery store, what do you want them to know about autism, living with autism, and anything about spreading awareness and acceptance?
Well, living with autism, it really depends, because autism can have either low functioning or high function. I just happen to have high functioning autism. But when people see autism, I don't want them to just think that it's a bad thing. And autism is not a bad thing. It's just something we all have to work with. We have to live and, groom it. I mean, like, I have black hair. I live with it. And I keep it looking good. And I just do my best with my autism every single day.
But we live with. And I can say that Grant wasn't always this way. This is a lot of early intervention. There were times my friends didn't want to watch Grant. This is a lot of work that we see today. This isn't just overnight and he's fine. No. Early intervention, lots of repetition, and lots of love.
That's right.
And Julie, for parents that are just starting their journey, maybe have a child that they think might be on the spectrum or have already gotten the diagnosis, what do you want to tell them?
That you're very fortunate. When Grant was diagnosed with autism, it was about 2001, and we didn't have the resources we have today. You're very fortunate. Find these resources, find any help you can receive for your loved one. Now, Grant received Social Security very early on when he was about 6 years old. And that helped him even to this day. Even if you don't qualify for Social Security, get your name in the system. Because if something should happen, your name is in the system and it makes it flow a little faster in the event that you need to use it. So I always tell my parents, just get your name in the system, whatever it takes, and just plan ahead. Grant has a special needs trust fund. Just plan everything ahead, because you never know when it's your time. And I've seen this happen. We've lost parents and the children, the paperwork wasn't ready. Get your paperwork ready, always.
And Julie and Grant, especially considering the times that we're in today and the challenges that we're facing with this crisis and the pandemic, connecting to one another can be a challenge. What can you tell to parents and families out there the best way to get through this crisis if you do have a special needs child at home, or if you are caring for an adult that's on the spectrum?
For us, since Grant is in the young adult phase, I remember when he was a child, it was different, the things we had to pre-plan and have ready, activities, books, whatever it took to keep him active and keep him busy, not just watching TV and games all day. As a young adult, he's learning more life skills. Grant has learned to clean the house, wash the dishes, whatever it takes when he moves and transitions into his own independent living. So what we have been doing these last few weeks is Grant has been learning to sew. He's learning to sew on buttons. So
I love that.
The canvas, and I taught him how to use a needle. Right now it's a blunt needle, how to sew on buttons. And then he will transition and learn how to sew on buttons with a straight needle that's very sharp and on fabric. And the other thing, so I'm going to teach Grant to sew. So the other thing I'm teaching him to sew are face masks.
That's great.
Since I'm a seamstress, keep yours on. Since I'm a seamstress by trade, it's like I tell my parents, they are a product. Our kids are a product of our environment. What do you do that you can teach your child to do as well? And life skills of sewing on buttons, sewing a straight line, I think is very important because I know it's carried me a long ways throughout my life. So I'm going to be teaching Grant how to sew straight lines first. The other thing we've been doing and staying busy, so we started working on a book, and I'm always prepared, Britta. We started working on this book right here, Abigail the Brave Little Llama. This was like the beginning of March, and then, of course, the virus hit, so we had to put this book on hold. However, I was approached by a friend and asked if I would write a book about the pandemic. I said, well, I don't know if I can do that in time. Well, we did. We have a new book coming out called Zoo Closed Until Further Notice. And really, this book is about referencing the animals. How do I explain this book? This book is a resource book for our children. These are questions and information that our kids may be confused about. However, we touch upon it in this book. And, how sweet when animals can tell their people friends, we miss you, take care, we know what's going on, but we're waiting for you. So I wrote this book. It won't come out until next week. And the other thing we had to do based on the business, so we had to readjust what was going on. All of our shows canceled, everything canceled. Financially, the rug was pulled out from under us, and for a lot of people in the event industry. So we had to restructure everything, and now our books are going to be on ebook. So you can purchase our books as ebooks on our website. So right now, in the next few weeks, that's all we can figure out what to do with our product line. Because right now, the inventory is just sitting. So we're just trying to be creative.
And Julie, what is the website in case parents would like to get that resource book, which is a great way to talk to your child, whether they are on the spectrum or not, about what's going on, because it is a challenging thing and they might be a little scared, and to have your resource book would definitely be a great teaching tool to help guide them through this time. So how can parents find that book?
Yes, so our website is jigsaw, like a puzzle, jigsawgrant.com, jigsawgrant.com. So we have our books, and of course we have our little Jigsaw Grant on there as well. Yes, I think, I could not believe I wrote this book in just a short time, but I had a lot of help. And these are questions and information, simple terms for a child to understand. And yet questions they may be afraid to ask.
Mm-hmm. And Grant, before we finish up today, what would you like to share with everyone at home about what you are going to be doing in the days to come? I know you're always looking for a new project. Of course, now you're working on the resource book. You have your sewing that you're going to be doing. But after we get past this little time frame that we're working through, what's your long-range goal? What's the next thing that's coming for you?
Well, once everything is finally passed, I'm going to continue doing what I've been doing so far. Keep working on my art. Keep learning new techniques to always add to my next art piece. and of course get back onto the shows. Go out and about again, because I know we're all stuck at home right now. And of course, even though maybe stopping the videos after the life skills, I'm always going to be learning life skills, and that's exactly what people like me who want to live in their own place someday are going to need. So I'm always going to be learning. I'm really looking forward.
Always learning, yes.
I love that. And all of us are always learning, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Julie and Grant, we appreciate your time. We send you our best. And I hope the next time I see you, we're giving each other a big hug.
That's true. Yes. Look forward to it.
We're looking really forward to it.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.